G'day everyone, it's Charles Mackenzie on behalf of Infected Blood Australia, and this video is about why you and your loved ones may be directly at risk to a CSL manufactured AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. CSL have a duty of candour. What that means under law is that they're supposed to tell the Australian public what goes wrong with their product. Infected Blood Australia has been waiting for years and years and years, and contaminated blood victims have been waiting decades for answers from CSL as what the bloody hell went wrong with so many of their products. They've killed 1,400 of our friends here in Australia, many of them children. Well, we don't get an answer, and there won't be any answer. CSL were given full legal indemnities for what they did with their blood products here in Australia. So as a result, we can't get, just like they have been with the COVID-19 vaccine, Scott Morrison has given them full legal indemnities for the AstraZeneca vaccine that they're about to put into millions of Australians. What does that mean? Well, it means that there's no recourse for you should what happened to us happen to you. And then you'll be left in our shoes, obtain a blood victim's shoes, okay? Don't be in our shoes, whatever you do, okay? So this video is for you. It really is for you. And this isn't about fear now. We're telling the God's honest truth, right? So CSL infected 1,750 Australians, many of them children, with HIV, AIDS and hepatitis C from their contaminated blood products. Now the world knows that CSL knew full well that their products were contaminated. They brought this product called Factor VIII over from the UK in 1978. And a British inquiry has just found out that authorities over there knew that this product, Factor VIII, was transmitting viruses in 1974, but mates of CSL over in the UK decided to play down the facts about this product, so to preserve the reputation of it and so they could put it into more kids and so on, and more people with this clotting disorder, haemophilia. As a result, it came here years later, and it started really going to work here in the 80s, and it just wiped people out en masse. There's never been any investigations, no legal investigations, no investigation by the ABC. If you look up on Wikipedia, you'll see a list of public health disasters in Australia. You'll see nothing about the deadliest one of all, which is CSL contaminated blood or Australian Red Cross contaminated blood. There are tens of thousands of blood transfusion victims who've got hepatitis C. People now have been left with liver cancer as a result of that hepatitis C. There's no help. And there's no help for haemophiliacs in Australia. If they're English, they'd be helped. They get a legal inquiry. They get financial assistance. But because they're Australian and because of these indemnities, right, the green light for CSL to do whatever they want. And so, another thing about indemnities, if someone is vaccine injured by a CSL AstraZeneca vaccine, where are they to go? First of all, no one's going to believe you because they won't see it on the news, right? If CSL's got indemnities, the ABC won't play it. If you think they will, they've never once investigated the haemophilia issue. They've killed 1,400, mainly kids here in Australia, CSL. You've never once seen it on TV. There are tens of thousands of blood transfusion victims that the Australian government and the Australian Red Cross has knowingly produced. They knew they were doing this. And they know that there'll be adverse events from this AstraZeneca vaccine, but they don't care. They don't care. So, but we do care, right? We care very much for you. We care very much for Australia, okay? And we may be, Australia's group of lepers. Pretty much should be a great example, right? But we're not. We're more than that. We're fighters. And we are going to stand up for Australia right now. We demand, look, on the issue of vaccines, there are some people that I've heard said, vaccines should be banned. And we don't support that. We support Australians being able to do whatever it is that they feel will provide protection for them and their families. But at the same time, we also support people who do as we do, which is, also learn about our own immune systems. Things like vitamin C, zinc, vitamin D, great immune boosters, aren't they? Okay. There's also chaga, the chaga mushroom. We take that. We take all sorts of things, look after ourselves. I've got bone marrow failure. I've got a disease called severe aplastic anemia. It was made famous by the boy in the bubble, lived in the plastic bubble. I'm out of that bubble. And I've learned to get out of that bubble, even though I haven't had bone marrow transplant, even though I've been told I'm terminal, because I look after myself with natural health and with vitamins, okay? Yeah, and so I've got no fears, but I do have fears about a CSL manufactured vaccine that doesn't have indemnity, okay? That's been given indemnity, so that they've been given a green light to do as they please. Well, we've already seen what CSL have done when given a green light. They sent contaminated product right throughout Australia in the 1980s. They sent it right throughout Southeast Asia. They've killed thousands of people over there. And here we are now, millions of us being lined up for more CSL green-lit, experimental, crazy medicines. Guys, please support us and we'll support you back. And, if you are going to have a vaccine, please write to Scott Morris and say, hey, how come people in England and other places, this AstraZeneca vaccine, if you get harmed in the UK, there's recourse for you. It's a British vaccine, but when it comes down here to Australia and CSL make it, there's no recourse for you? What, because you're an Aussie? That won't fly. Thanks, guys.